think when we ask most golfers what they'd like to see in their game improving, a lot of people would say, I'd like to see more distance and I'd like to see more accuracy. So distance is the obvious thing, just getting nearer to the green, nearer to the hole would be great. But improving their accuracy, that's a little bit harder to do. Now actually a lot of golfers are more accurate with their shorter irons. So if we could improve distance and therefore hit more short irons, we're going to hit more accurate shots as well going into a green. So this is where we could consider whether hybrid clubs or standard irons are going to give you more accuracy and more distance. Generally speaking, a hybrid golf club as opposed to a standard golf club, it's probably going to have a slightly longer shaft, a slightly lighter shaft, a bigger, more confidence-giving head, creating higher flights because the weight is lower down underneath the golf ball to hit it up into the air. And the real big kicker here is you get a bit more forgiveness from a hybrid golf club. Generally the perimeter weighting the perimeter weighting and the weight low and deep is actually going to encourage a better contact, particularly in off-centre hits. So for most golfers, when we test them side by side, irons against hybrid irons, we generally see the hybrid iron is going to go about a club further. So a 6-iron hybrid would replace a 5-iron standard. Higher flight, softer landing on the green, and more forgiveness. So actually when we test golfers, they feel that they can swing the hybrid club faster because it's a lighter shaft, the graphite shaft as opposed to generally a steel shaft. They get underneath the golf ball, they fly the ball well. So if you're standing on the golf course next time, you consider, would I rather hit a 5 or a 6-iron, and they both go the same distance, generally speaking, you'd say 6. It's easier to control, hits the ball a little bit higher, spins it a little bit more when it lands on the green. And if it does go offline, the extra loft on the club actually creates a little bit more straightness and less curvature on the shot. So if you took that right through the entire game, 18 holes, and every time you approached an iron, would you take one less if you could? I think you would, and I think if you added that up and over an entire round, you'd probably find you were saving yourself 2 to 3 shots in a round by hitting shorter irons into greens because they fly higher and stop quicker. And that's really the benefit of having hybrid clubs in your game. The breakdown of the set's going to be very similar. We get the same amount of loft spacing, so about 3 degrees per club changing down through the set. We get the same shaft incremental differences in length, so longer irons and shorter irons right the way through the set. So actually changing from standard irons to hybrid irons is something that you could consider doing, particularly if you want to hit the golf ball further with your irons and therefore enable yourself to hit shorter irons into the greens to improve your scores.